Dave here knows a lot about model railroading. We've been talking a ton about it, and I was looking at some notes before we started. I understand that model railroading began in the 1800s. And Dave tells me it was in England, but it was a very expensive hobby. And model railroads were run by steam, or they were mechanical. It wasn't until the 1920s that you saw the emergence of electric trains and the mass production of electric trains for consumers.
Well, here at the Augusta County Railroad Club, we have trains that go back to the 1930s. These are Lionel trains that were called standard gauge. And the track is about this wide, and basically you had to be fairly wealthy. And one of the missions of our club is to open it up so that people of all ages, particularly children, can experience model trains. A lot of the trains that you'll see here on our layouts, you won't see in the real world, like steam engines. For about 50 years, these type of trains ran off a direct current. You just turned the rheostat. The new trains have something called digital command control, which is like they use with model airplanes. But the signal runs actually through the track. So you can control the speed, they have sound, they have smoke. As they go up a hill, they'll chug harder. As they go down a hill, they'll chug faster. So that's the new technology that's pretty much out there.
What's happening in the future? What do you see coming in model railroading?
Well, the next technology is batteries. Rather than having to hook up a lot of wires, because underneath this layout there's probably about a mile of wires. Every section of track has to have electrical drops going down to a main what's called bus line. The new thing out there is battery operation, totally independent of track power. Trains, since Lionel came out with the first train back in the 1920s, has run off of electricity running through the rails. With battery power, you're totally independent. You can run as many trains as you want on the track, as fast and slow as you want on the track. So that probably in the next 10 years is what you'll see in the model train industry.
What I was reading before I got here was that there's some work going on towards holograms, where your layouts are holographic, your loading of freight, your loading of passengers will be done holographically, maybe in conjunction with some layout work. Have you heard anything about that, and what do you think about it?
About 10 years ago, they came out with computer software, train simulation software to do all of that, to actually run the trains on the computer. And what's interesting is it didn't do well. People really, if you're going to do model trains and you want fun of actually running your trains, people want the real thing. They don't want the simulation that you get either through holograms or through the computer, which I think was rather interesting. I had a train simulator on my computer, and it's just not as much fun as running your model trains. Because with model trains, you're not only running them, but you're building them. You're painting them, you're putting together kits, you're putting together scenery. If it doesn't run, you have the aggravation of trying to figure out what's wrong with the train. So there's much more that goes into the hobby of model railroading, just than putting on a pair of simulation glasses and getting a 3D image to get the effect. We meet here in our Stanton site every Tuesday night, and it's actually to work on the layout. The layout is built in modules. They're 2x4 and 2x6 modules, and they're actually clamped together. So when you look at it, you're basically looking at a series of scenes, one right after another. and each one of those are separately built modules. Some of our members are good at the electrical work, some are good at carpentry, some are good at building scenery, some are good at just building the train cars themselves. So that's the fun of the hobby.
Trains, model trains, join us as
we PBSers at WVPT want to thank you for joining us today. There's more to come, and if you enjoyed what you saw, let us know in the comment section below. If there's any videos you want us to make, we'd be happy to hear your suggestions. Show us some love by hitting the like button, and a deeper love by subscribing. And we'll see you next video.